Hey, Joe Tuhun, what's up? Happy St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, 2025. I didn't get this out yesterday because I was too busy watching the Lakers. I was also busy getting my PT going on so that I can return to Fiji and go surf someday. Alrighty, so um, again, we're going to look at the build up to where we're at, and the build up to where we're at is we kind of laid the groundwork of many of the social and socioeconomic issues that we see throughout the world. We're focusing in our country, and of course, but it's a big global issue. And when you guys um, figure out how to fix things, then you can then be hired as a consultant to fix things in other parts of the world, not only just our country, which is an awesome thing. Because it's all about finding out ways to get you guys jobs, gainfully employed. All right. So we were going over the economics of aging last week, and that was what my video was all about. And if we hit content here, I'll give you kind of a reminder that you do have in April the relevant second writing assignment we call critical thinking, where you're going to actually go into some really, really cool AARP calculators where you're going to calculate out what your retirement planning will look like, the benefits of your retirement planning, put it that way. If you have a 401k or an IRA, and you'll look at it, say, you start investing now and what it's all going to look like in terms of how much money you saved. Say you retire at 60 or 70. It's a really cool assignment. So, and financial literacy is where it's at, guys. All righty. We went over last week, focusing in on our country in the discussion, some of the real big issues, when we look at, the numbers, this right here, this number is different depending on what you're looking at. Okay. Um, it's safe to say that 50% of our country 90% of their income is Social Security. Okay, I think this was from a report that was from a private group, and now there's been a lot of controversy on that. But that being said, a lot of people don't have very much saved. Okay, and we saw in this final video right here future of aging. Okay. And we looked at people that have nothing saved and, they're still alive. They're 60, 70 years of age and they're having to find odd jobs just to be able to survive, and there's a big chunk of society that is like that. All right. All righty. And we're going to look at, in week 10, how we stack up, in terms of, our financial well-being in our country. All righty. Very cool. We looked at it globally here as well in week 9. And we kind of set the framework of kind of global economics and all the things we understood, the increase in older people, the fact that economics, we don't have as many children around to get the job done. We have a lot more people that are a burden as they get older. We talked about it when we looked at healthcare and diabetes and cancer and things like that. And so, um, understanding this, knowledge is power, and we got to figure things out. Remember, to keep the economy, thriving, one solution is immigration. We're dealing with a lot of these issues politically right now, and we have a lot of illegal immigration in our country, but a lot of the illegal immigration supports many people on both sides of the table in terms of running businesses, and it's an interesting sociological experiment. We're going to see how it all plays out over the next 4 years. All right. That being said, I think what we need to do, we need to go back to content here and get into this week. So, here's the costs. Okay, we talked about the gross domestic product, and we have, money earned, okay, and then we have money spent, and and how does it all pan out? All right, so let's go into we can and take a look at this. Okay. So for us as individuals, we have to prepare for our retirement. Do you want to be like those people in nomad land, where you're just hand to mouth working every single day just to survive? Okay. Or do you want to live comfortably? I live very comfortably here. And what did I do? The emotional readiness, the risks you need to take, okay, to prepare for your retirement. I mean, if I had to do it all over again, I would have, we're going to look at portfolios, and that's, your different forms of money that you have available to you, also referred to as assets. And I should have taken risk and invested in real estate. It was, one of my biggest regrets. Okay. That's my what if. All right. When I retire, how am I going to spend my time? How does my investment portfolio stack up right now? Okay. What are some of the strategies? Okay. And then you have to account for this, costs. These are, they're unexpected costs, but they're kind of expected based on what happens with aging. Okay. Awesome. All right. Very cool. All right, let's just go right into this, and then we're going to get into um, one aspect of, again, this is so political right now. We have continuing resolution right now, meaning that the new administration, the new Congress, the new Senate, they have not passed the new budget based on the new ideology. So they basically said we have a stop fix right now, of so much money. Okay, and you've heard that a big part of the drain on the gross domestic product, on the drain on the financial bank account of our country, are the entitlement programs, Social Security system, okay, Medicare, okay, and then also Medicaid, which is for people that are too poor to get their own health insurance, and they're not old enough to qualify for Medicare. All right. All right. So that's something we're going to get to here in a sec. Okay. All right. So let's look at the assignment. Again, you can always open your quiz. You see down there. Okay. And so what I've done is I pulled figures from some really good articles. Okay. And we're going to look at our country and look at kind of averages, but then also, I'll talk about, statistics. You can look at an average of something. It gets really skewed by the ultra rich that are billionaires. Okay. And then we can look at medians. And this is basically the median is where you stack up 100 people and you look at, say, the person in the middle, number 50, and how do they stack up? Okay. And that's a better readout of what's going on. All right. All right. So the goal of this assignment is to prepare you for the broad kind of social implications, okay, of how well the United States is doing for retirement. We're going to look at, we're going to ask these questions and answer these questions, and what percent of the U.S. population is actually able to save, okay? How does the saving strategy differ between generations? And that's going to have to do with you setting up a budget, and so you need money to live on, and then what kind of risk can you take with your investments, okay? So that they will then, the whole idea is you invest and then you get a return on your investment, meaning you're gonna make profit, a lot of profit on that money, rather than just having money sitting idly in, say, your Bank of America account where you're not making hardly any interest. Okay. Why make a 0.5% interest, or I forget what my BVA account is, probably more like a 0.2% interest, when you could be making 8% interest by investing in the stock market. And we're going to talk about this approach next week, the different types of stock market investments. They're called equities, okay? And the best thing is to open up your own account, whether it's Vanguard or Morgan Stanley or Fidelity, which is the one we use, and then you select large categories of stocks called mutual funds, and you assign your risk, and we'll talk about that next week. All right, all right, all right. So What percentage of the U.S. Relies solely on Social Security benefits for retirement? Okay, how well does Social Security benefits cover the cost of living? We're gonna look at what these benefits are, and then you look at how much you spend on a monthly basis, and you're going to get a good feel of that. Okay, generationally, are you guys saving money? Okay, and so I'm going to encourage you guys to start saving money right now. Just little bits and pieces of your money. If you have a job, putting it into, we're going to refer to this next week called a Roth IRA. Super easy way to do it. Okay. All right. And we'll set up these goals, where you should be at. So, you're on track. All right. So like I said, there are a number of articles. Okay. This is a really cool article. It was put out by the Wall Street Journal. 2023, and here's what retirement looks like in American 6 chunks. Okay. All right. So what I have done is I've selected the ones I thought were most relevant. Okay. Um, you need to have a subscription to the Wall Street Journal in order to access this article. Okay. But what we did is we have, the most relevant figures put up right here. Okay, guys. All right. So this is just such review for you, but this is just showing right here. The point of this figure is just to show you the age wave. Okay, in our country. Okay, the percent of our population that is going to be over age 65. Okay, so here we are right here. Okay, 2025, and what you see is you'd see these accelerated steps. Okay, um, and since we have fewer and fewer young people, less and less fertility, and more and more people get older, okay, and people survive, and so we see that we're going to go from here where we're roughly somewhere around 17%, so that when we get to your guys' range, okay, so let's say in say 40 years, got here and you're retiring now, you're going to be approaching 23%. All right, so that's a big shift. So we know that. We know that there are going to be more people getting older, more mouths to feed, and we're going to look at the entitlement programs, Medicare, and we're going to be looking at Social Security. And if we get more people drawn from it, less people paying into it because we have fewer workers. Okay, let's say we reduce immigration. Let's see you guys continue not to have children. You can see what's happening there. All right. All right. So this is looking at, from this Wall Street Journal article, what the average household retirement savings account balance is. Okay. And again, this is average. And when we look at this retirement savings account balance, it's everything under the sun. All right. So yes, I have a 401k. Okay. I could have individual retirement accounts. I don't. I just have my 401k. I could have extra real estate. Okay. I don't, but I have this real estate. Okay. This is all savings. Whatever I have in my Bank of America account from my monthly deposit from my USC paycheck. Okay. All right. So we can put all that together. Okay. And we see that the average for somebody that is 65 or older is approaches the 400,000, but so much of that savings is here. This is my house. My house, I owe $200,000 on it. Why? Well, I kept having to refinance the original loan. We've been here for 25 years. We bought the place for $430,000. And based on changes in our family income, Julie had to quit, when she was sick, and we lost that income. She was making twice what I was making. So we had to go in and refinance the loan. Okay. When you refinance, you change the agreement of the loan in terms of when you're going to pay the money back to the bank. So we changed it, okay, to extend the term of the loan. All right. So by doing that, then that reduced our monthly payment. But it also means that you start out with, a 30-year mortgage, and here we are 25 years and we still owe $200,000. Remember, our original loan was 435, and that's because we just keep renegotiating it. Now we're to a point now that we can start paying it down. We weren't earlier, right? So we had to reduce our monthly payment in order to afford to live. And there's a lot of, you'll go through this, a lot of issues that could pop up with that. All right. So that being said, I kind of rambled there. So this house we bought for 430. We owe 200. It's now worth 2.8 million dollars. All right. So I'm on the high end over here. I'm way out here. I'm way out here. Plus I have, a couple million in my 401k. All right. So I'm way skewing this. Okay. So now when you look at the average, you get kind of a better feel that this is really not that much money. Okay. All right. Okay. And here you guys are, and obviously you're not going to save a whole lot of money. Let's look at the median. Okay. Let's look at a net worth, okay, where we stack up. Let's say we had 100 people in our country, all right? That's the easiest way to talk about it. Actually, let's say we had 101, okay, all righty, and we stack it. So we go all the way up to 51, all right? All right, that's the median. That person in the middle, and we're looking. The person has 0, doesn't own a house. There's my 0, okay? Doesn't have any 401k, doesn't have anything, okay? All the way to my good friend Elon Musk, okay? Right? So we look at everybody all across the board and we look, what's the median, okay? And we see that the net worth, okay, which is the value of my house, my 401k, okay, my cars, okay, if I own them outright, what they are, all these different assets. Okay, some people might have multiple properties. My good friend Jim, he invested in some real estate, so he owns a strip mall somewhere. Okay, all righty. We add all that up and we look right in the median, number 51 of 101 people. Okay, we see all this is the value. Okay, minus my liabilities. Okay, so you would subtract out whatever your credit card bill, you subtract your car loan out, you subtract out your mortgage payment, etc. And we see here, remember I'm 69, okay? So I'm right here in this group right here. And see the median is only $266,000, okay? That's the only, it seems like a lot to you, but that's kind of crazy, okay? And there's so many people that are in the lower 10th percentile, the lower 25th percentile. This is right here, right in the middle, okay? So, you know, again, you think about this house. This house is worth almost 3 million. Okay. That would put me way out here. Okay. In terms of the group that's looked at. All right. So this is the economic well-being of people in our country. So there's two different ways of looking at it. It's the average and then the median. Okay. And again, even when you look at the average or the median, especially for people that live in LA, most of you guys are from LA area, understand what I'm talking about here. Okay. All right. So now let's just look at, the really, really lower socioeconomic individuals. Okay. Let's say you are 100% reliant or 90% reliant on Social Security for your monthly income. Okay, so we come over here, okay, and we're looking at this was in 2023, so I do have to update this, okay, but we see the average benefit was about $1,800 a month. Okay, so this is the monthly benefit right here. So can you imagine that, guys? Living on $1,800 a month. Okay, you guys, some of you are spending twice that in just your rent. Okay, and just you. Okay, so it's color coded. Okay, in terms of what percentage is in this range. And so what we see here is the majority of people, okay, are earning far less in terms of percent brackets, okay? We see the majority of the population is earning far less than this 1825 a month, which is mind-blowing, okay? And then we see over here, and this is the assumption, okay, that that God, I can't even. I lost my track of mind. This is the assumption right here that that this is all you're living on. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So let's continue on here. I had such an intense physical therapy session today. It's getting to me. I should be eating. Right. So all right. So let's kind of go back here and look and now I know this is the assumption that you're actually accessing your your Social Security at the recommended age of 66.7 years of age. All right, that's what I was saying. Now, some people, so we see right here, okay, we're going to look at, you know, the the maximum benefit. Okay, so the maximum benefit, okay, that you can get in 2023, okay, at age 67 years of age is $3,600 a month, or about $43,000 a year. Okay, now this you know, this is the max. Okay, and I forgot to indicate up here that your Social Security um, paycheck, okay, your monthly income from Social Security, there's a calculation, okay. It's you take the average, okay, from your 35 best years of making a salary, how much you've earned, okay, and from those 35 best years, then it is indexed to create this monthly payment. Is that right? So if I have maxed out, okay, those 35 years, the best I could earn would be this amount. Now, some people that are low wage earners, okay, are going to be down here in this range, making that my brother, okay, he had a lot of income as a he would get. He's doing inspections for cement work by contractors, and so a lot of his payments were under the table. He didn't pay any taxes. So that's a year with reduced income. So his Social Security income that he is making right now is right here. He's making about $900 a month. Okay. So I'm going to be up here. Okay. Because I've been an employee working for a large employer. There's no hiding my income. Okay. All righty. Now, if for some reason you're not competitive, you can't work anymore, and you have to retire earlier, the first time you can draw your Social Security is at age 62. And then at that, if you do that, draw at age 62 in 2023, this would be your monthly income. See, it's about a little over $1,000 left, 2572 a month. You see here, this is your annual income. It's 30,000, almost 31,000 compared to 43. Okay. If you retire somewhere between 62 and 67, all right, it is incrementally increased. Okay. So it's not like an all or none. It's a sliding scale going from this age to this age. This is the first year you can access it. Okay. Now you can do what I'm doing. Okay. I'm still working, still making good money. I'll be 69 in June. All right. So I have not tapped into this. Okay. That's what the government wants us to do. All right. They actually encourage, they incentivize this. Okay. They disincentivize retiring early. You can see that amount to that amount. Okay. And they incentivize you to retire late. Keep working if you can. So at age 70, that's when it maxes out. Okay. And at age 70, okay, if I'm maximal income, okay, instead of being a maximum of 3,600 a month, I'll be about 45,555 a month. So you can see my income right here, boom, boom, okay. So it's 12 grand more a year, okay, just by waiting. And if you have the luxury to wait, that's what I'm going to do. So then in another year and a half, not quite, I'll start accessing it. I'll probably still be working. So I'm going to get, you know, by then, probably about a $57,000 bonus. Okay. All right. That's the way it works. Sorry for my hiccup here. Yeah, I'm going to blame this guy too. I think it was Desi's fault. Desi. Hey, Desi, say hi. What's up? Desi. He wants attention. Don't nose me like that. So get out. Get out. Get out. Okay. That's the boy dog. All right. Okay, where are we, guys? Okay, so we went to another publication here now. Okay, so this is a really cool article put out by the U.S. Federal Reserve. Okay, dogs are barking. We're going to look at the economic well-being of U.S. households. They surveyed households. Okay, is a 2022 article, so not too long ago. Okay, and so this is figure 43. Okay. And so they asked the question for those people who have retirement accounts. Again, it's controversial. There's a big chunk of people that have none. There's also many people that have next to nothing. They qualify as having a retirement account, but they have next to nothing in terms of their retirement accounts. Okay. All righty. If you have any form of retirement account, okay, how is it invested? All right. So we see right here, the majority have what's called the defined contribution pension. That's the 401k that I have. Okay. All righty. It's set up by my large corporation. Okay. They create the opportunity, the vehicle to get it done, and then it's protected under federal law. All right. Okay. What else do we have? Okay. Uh, People have money in your savings account. All right. So there's a large percentage there. Doesn't mean you can have $5 in there. It doesn't mean there's a whole lot. Okay. You have what's called an IRA. We're going to go over that. So this is everybody can do an IRA. You can invest much, much more in your 401k than the IRA. There's set limitations on this. Okay. And but it's still all these vehicles where the whole reason for doing a 401k, the defined contribution benefit program, or the defined contribution pension, and the IRA is the tax incentives. Okay, so we're doing this. Okay, we're putting away the money. I put a big chunk of my money into my 401k, and then you subtract that from my annual income. It disappears into my doesn't disappear, but it goes into my accounts that I will get later. And so then the government looks at that and it's like, oh, okay, so your taxable income is reduced by that amount that you invest later on. I'll pay taxes on that later when I draw from it, but the assumption is when I'm 75 years of age, my spending will go way down and I'll pay less taxes on it then. All right. Okay. You can have other types of retirement savings. Like I said, I wish I had more real estate or business. And then you see a big chunk of our country has absolutely nothing. All right, cool. Um, so we can, hone this down and look at by age groups. Okay, so that was just, this previous figure was just, does it exist? Okay, and we look at it by age groups. Okay, any retirement savings whatsoever. Okay, so we see here that 18 to 29, 62%. And obviously, as you get older, more and more people have taken the time to invest. Okay. Up here approaching 60, and we see by 60 years of age, a lot of people, why is there this increase in number? A lot of people don't have the income to do it. They delay it. Okay. Then in this program, they ask the question, all right, fine. Do you feel like you're ready? And you see, even though, people have invested, a lot of people have invested very little. So people feel really, really undergunned in terms of being able to retire and have income to live comfortably. Okay. And that's what this is showing right here based on age group. This is a sad one right here. So half of our country feels really undergunned. Okay. All righty. We can look at the same question based on race and ethnicity. Okay. And we see, no big surprise that white America does really well. So does Asian people of Asian descent. Okay. And we see that the Black and Hispanic groups have lagged far behind in terms of actually invested even a dollar. Okay. Again, how do you stack up? Do you feel undergunned? Okay. White America feels better. Okay. So we see the numbers here. This was everybody. Now we're seeing right here, feels better right here. And then you see the disadvantaged groups right here. Feel like they're far undergunned. And in the worst case scenario right here is, do you have a disability? And so many disabled people have zero invested. Half of people that said I'm disabled had nothing invested. And we see that, do you feel like you're on track? And only 17% felt like you're on track. All righty. Cool. Okay, so now we look at the information from the census. Okay, so people go out and they ask people all around the country, how do things stack up, and it looks at the same thing. Okay, retirement accounts based on demographics. So we're looking here, your generation. Okay, and we see again. Not surprising that more and more people here are invested in some form of retirement account as they get older. We look here based on sex, okay? Women less so than men, okay? And it's just, it is what it is. It's women take a hit in the workplace. My wife Julia used to make twice my income for many, many years. Okay, she had to take a step back because of health issues, but also, she was never home to even see our kids. And so that was a choice that was made, And even though she, came back in the workplace and started working at USC, so that was 14 years ago. Okay. Um, she took a hit, so she didn't have investment during that period of time. So this is what you would see here. It's also taken a hit in terms of her Social Security. All right. We can look here again. Who's investing? And this is kind of a reiteration of the survey that we saw up here. So this is kind of looking at the same data we see right here. Different source. Again, this was the U.S. Federal Reserve, and this is looking from the U.S. Census. But you can see that Hispanics are far behind, Black America is far behind, and then Asian Americans and white Americans are doing far better in terms of any type of investment. Okay. All right. So, from the Wall Street Journal article, so we have the three articles that we look at first. Again, this is looking at average. Things can be so much more than this, okay, depending on who you are, okay? And we're looking at one of the, when you're looking at people, for example, that are reliant on Social Security or at this low end over here that don't have a lot of income, okay? And this is part of your discussion. So many people, a big hit for them is medical costs, all right? So if you're making $1,000 a month, that's, $12,000 a year. Over the age of 65, the average expense in terms of healthcare expenses is about $7,000. So there's nothing left to, like I said, 12. So you have $5,000 left to live on. Okay, not the greatest scenario. When we look at the costs, this is doctor visits, medical services right here, hospitalization, etc., drugs, okay, medical supplies, okay. You see the biggest cost right here is health insurance, okay. Even with Medicare, there are premiums that you must pay, okay, and we'll get into that later on. All right, awesome. Okay, and this is just again looking at a different fourth article here, the World Economic Forum, and asking the same questions, and you get the same results right here. So this is a table form of what we're looking at right here in terms of that figure, and you see again, healthcare costs go up and up and up the older you get. And they become a bigger percentage of your total expenditures, right? So you guys, as Marshall School majors, this has to be budgeted for. When you're sitting down and you're talking to your potential clients, maybe you're going to be a money manager, okay, a financial counselor. And so this is part of the budget that you put in and said, look, this is something that you got to account for. All right. All righty. This is, in terms of setting up a budget, this is your typical spending, okay? Again, from the World Economic Forum. Again, they always look backwards in time. It was the publication was done recently, but this is when they gathered the data, and we see that on these based on generations, this is the average annual expenditure. Now, this is all across the country. Just imagine, there are pockets like LA where your expenses are far greater than this. Okay. We look at, how much we spend on just housing. Okay. And we can see that such a large percentage of our spending goes towards housing, whether it be mortgage or rent. And these are, these include very poor parts of the country. You think about, places like LA and San Francisco, you can double that at least. Okay. All righty. So that's an expenditure in terms of your budget. Okay. What about entertainment? Okay. All right. So this is typical, and you guys are going to look at these numbers and go, what? Okay. That's what I spend in a month, and that's true. Some people are looking at the averages right there. All right. So where should we stack up? So this is where you should be in terms of investing in terms of your later years of life, okay, for retirement, right? So, by age 30, let's say if you've earning 55 grand a year, you should have 55 grand saved. And it just keeps stacking up. Age 40, 3 times your income. right? So if you're making 100 grand a year at age 40, then you should have 300 grand put aside. Okay. Age 60, let's say you're making 200 grand a year. All right. All right. That's cool. Then you should have 1.6 million put aside. Right. Awesome. And so we're going to use this guideline and make projections when we do um, your critical thinking assignment number 2. All right. God, that was crazy. I had that hiccup. I could not think. And that's aging, guys. You witnessed it. I could not for the life of me think of this concept of the incentivized Social Security program where you disincentivize early retirement at age 62 and you incentivize later retirement. But anyways, that's the way it goes. Okay. Let's go over here. Okay. All right. So that being said, now we come down here to your discussion. Okay. Um, so this is so important right now. Okay. We have this political experiment. We have a brand new administration. Okay. And there's a lot of discussion of cutting taxes. All right. Fine. But if you're going to cut taxes, how are we going to pay for stuff? Right? Well, then we're going to have to cut certain expenditures. And so the concern is, and you know, Elon Musk has been pretty forthright about this, that he doesn't like the entitlement programs, that we spend too much money towards Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Okay. Now, a lot of this is covered by our taxes, but not enough. Okay. So security taxes, dedicated taxes for those. Okay. So the question is that you're going to be addressing in your discussion is Social Security system adequate in addressing the economic needs of older adults, especially those people that are poor? You know, what are we going to do? Is it the government's responsibility to take care of these old people, or do we just tell them to live in an overpass? Okay, underneath an overpass. Um, what happens to these people that just never were hand to mouth and could not save on their own? Okay, awesome. All right. All right. When you think about this, the cost of health insurance, the cost of caring for people, are we a compassionate society, And we look at how costs disproportionately affect you the older you get, if you're a female as well. Okay. All righty. So this is a cool article. It's a while back, but it did looked at data going backwards to 2013. They made projections here, and this is if we look at just your Social Security income, okay, how much is going to be out of pocket expenditures, okay, towards your health care. Okay, and this would be everything that we talked about earlier in the content of the course. So you're looking at the premium for your health insurance. Okay, so when you're older, premium for your Medicare plan. There's a bunch of different plans. You have this gap insurance plan that covers other outside pocket expenses. Okay, but you can see that for some people, we're looking on average right here. 50% of your healthcare costs are going towards, 50% of your Social Security is going towards paying your healthcare costs. Right? So that's a big deal. Okay. So this is, basically tells you how it's all laid out. Okay. When you look at your paycheck. Okay. So we pay a Social Security tax. And remember, we talked about these other countries, the Nordic countries. They have much better services. They pay more taxes up front. Okay. So, the way it works is 12.4% of your paycheck goes towards Social Security. Okay. Now, my brother highly underreported his income because he was a small businessman. Okay. And so that means he's going to get far less Social Security. All right. So 6%, 2% for you, and 6.2% for your employer. If you are working for yourself, then all 12.4% comes from you. Okay. Sucks. Okay. Now, what's a problem is I can be Elon Musk making, $1 billion a year. My Social Security income is capped at $176,100. So after that, I've made that money. No more Social Security is taken out of your paycheck. All right. Seriously, why people making billions of dollars? Why don't you kick in a little bit more to Social Security? All right. I know you're not going to be accessing more. The 55 grand a year that you would access from Social Security is not even pennies to you, but why not just kick it in more? Okay. Same deal with Medicare. Okay. So we see that 2.9% of your total paycheck has to go in to Medicare. 1.5% comes from your employer and 1.5% from you. Same drill, same drill. Now there is no, this cap only applies to Social Security right here. So the 2.9% still applies if you're making $1 billion a year. Okay. All righty. So, the problem is, okay, money from these taxes invested are what are called trusts. Okay, they're just investment tools. Okay, by the government. All right, but what's happened is so many people are needing Social Security, and so many people are needing Medicare right now, insurance, that the size of the principal is on the verge of collapsing. Okay, so we've been, it's an investment, so you pay out, you earn, interest. Okay, you get a return on the investment, and that's what's been used for years to pay everybody's Social Security and Medicare. But what's coming down the pipe is that and we're going to fall short of that in around 2030. Okay, and then we're going to start actually having less money going in than exists. We're going to be There'll be no more interest coming off it, and we'll just be pulling off the principal. So you know what the solution is on that. Okay, so there's two solutions. We either continue to delay access to Medicare and Social Security, make you work long. Imagine, guys, if I told you you had to work till you were 75 before you got any Social Security. Okay. Or we increase the taxes, okay, the way other countries around the world have done. All right, that's it. Okay. All right. So these 3 videos down here. Okay. Again, the whole concept is you're going to address these questions up here. 3 videos down here that explains how the Social Security system works. This is by this institute right here. All right. It's here. I'll take you right to it.
1 in 3
and
almost all of
it's
their
called
income
the
from
National
Social
Academy
Security.
for
This
Social
is
Insurance.
Tony, and this is his
Okay.
brother Victor.
Awesome. Okay, so they put together these videos a while back. They're a little dated, okay, but then this one right here is totally applicable, right? So watch these videos, okay? Consider what we were talking about here. You can access the Kaiser Family Foundation article right here, okay? This right here is new, and it looks at out-of-pocket expenses, right? And the facts about Medicare spending, okay? And it is what it is, okay? It's a really, really cool article, and it's something for you to kind of interact with, all right? Awesome. All right, and then you use that, okay, to address the discussion question. All right, so don't forget, around the pike is the critical thinking assignment, and then that one, I'll give you kind of a heads up here. So you're going to be actually going into doing some investing. That's CT1. There it is. All right. So you're going to do 2 IRAs using 2 different types of investing strategies on your part, and 401ks where you decide how much you're going to invest for and how long you're going to work for, what your return on your investment is, et cetera, that kind of stuff. Okay. Just kind of explains things a little bit right here in terms of questions that come up. You follow this. All right. Right here. That's the rubric. All right. Here's some questions you see right here. Okay, this is what we want you to get out of this, and this is some of the figures that you'll get that you can get out of doing the assignment. How do you access the assignment? You access the assignment right here. Okay, so there's my 401k calculator. Awesome. So I come down here and I just start plugging in money, however you want, like that, or you can do it right there. Okay, awesome. All right, guys, peace, and we'll see you next time.